Here we go, another episode of Steve Lags Unfiltered. I'm really excited about this episode because I have so many business owners asking me a lot of questions how I successfully implemented a goal-setting process in my organization with my employees. So I'm going to address a lot of those questions in this podcast and walk you through that process and how I've had so much success with helping my team members win. Let's go.
Hold on to your seats. You're watching Steve Lags Unfiltered. And now, meet your host, Steve Lags.
All right, here we go. So my mentor, Brandon Dawson, somebody that I met 4.5 years ago, really brought to my attention how important it was to learn about your team members' goals. What does winning look like them? And, it was something I hadn't really thought about in a serious manner. I did care for my employees, but I really didn't understand how I can actually work on a process and implement into my organization and really learn about their goals, understand their goals in a manner that's going to be very productive and also align that with their work so that when they're coming to the job, when they're coming to their work and they're working at my company, TRC Electronics, those goals help align that work. Because what happens is a lot of employees, a lot of people go to a job, they show up and they're just working to work and they really don't understand why they're there. They're not aligning their work with their life that they want to achieve. They're not aligning the work with the goals that they want to achieve. And when you can show them how the work they do in their profession aligns with the personal life they want, the financial life they want, and the professional life they want, it's really empowering. So I learned a process from Brandon. I didn't make any of this up. I just adopted what he already has been successful at. He taught me pretty well, and I brought it into my organization. And I'm going to walk you through how I do that, and I'll address some obstacles and some specific questions that I receive from business owners. So let's walk through this. So now the first step here is the prerequisite for this is you as a business owner, if you're going to consider setting a process up where you're helping team members identify, work for, and ultimately accomplish their personal, professional, financial goals, the prerequisite for that is that you have to truly care. If you're not authentic about it, I do not recommend doing this process. I've been in training events with other business owners, and I've heard business owners say, what if I don't care about my team members? What if I don't care about my employees? Well, first, you probably shouldn't be a business owner. You should just have a job because you don't belong in a leadership position if you do not care about the people that work in your organization or the people that work for you or the people that you're leading. So that's the first thing. That's the prerequisite. Otherwise, this is going to fail miserably and nobody's going to trust you. They're not going to respect you, and they're going to feel like this is being forced on them and it's not genuine and it's self-serving. It's not something you're doing to truly help them. Because remember, at the end of the day, the purpose of this is to help your team members win. Because you want to make sure that when your organization is winning and hitting the organization targets, hitting the organization goals, growing the business, that within that, your employees, your team members are also winning. And if you don't understand what winning looks like them personally, professionally, financially, how do you know if that's happening? Because they need to grow and develop within that. So you want them to see that in the big picture of growth of the company. So now I put a system in place. And why do we put a system in place? So we actually have a system, a process that we follow. This gives us structure. And that's very important because without structure, you're not going to have this consistently happening throughout your organization. So we document this process. This process is very methodical, and there's specific steps and timing of all the steps. So we have that process set so that we have the discipline in our organization to make sure it's consistently being done by the leaders within the organization with the team members that are leading. And also we have accountability to that process. So all of my leaders in my organization, one of their most important responsibilities is growing and developing their people and helping their people accomplish their personal, professional, financial goals through the work they do in the alignment with TRC Electronics. And another thing here really important is perpetuating it. So now once you have a process in place, but you need to perpetuate the PPF process, personal, professional, financial goals. And what does that mean? Well, first of all, it's something that should be spoken about and introduced during your interview process, whether it's on job descriptions, job posts, during the interview process. You want to be able to introduce that. We introduced it in the interview process. We also introduced it in some videos for recruiting, and all new applicants that come in the organization, they get to see a video, and we introduce that process. We're finding out what kind of goals they have during that interview process, because we're getting excited about working alongside them to help them accomplish their goals. Then in onboarding, we're perpetuating that. We're training them on the whole entire SMART goal process. I get into a little bit here. Also, after they're done with onboarding, 90 days in, we're going to be talking about their goals. We're following up with the goals and the one-on-ones. We're also following up with the goals. We're celebrating goals on daily kickoff meetings in the morning. So anybody that accomplishes a goal, we're celebrating it. On our quarterly business reviews, we're highlighting the team members' personal, professional goal wins. So we're constantly talking about this, and we're also promoting on social media, because we want to promote the wins within our organization. When our team wins, we want to promote them. We're excited about when they win. To me, as a business owner, I get more excited watching my team win than when the company wins. Because I know if the team is winning, that means the company's going to win. So you put that first. And also, when you're promoting it on social media, now what you put out in the world is going to come back to you. So people that are goal-oriented and are considering working in your organization, they're going to see that and be excited about that. Now, people that are not goal-oriented and they see that, they're not going to be excited about that, and they're probably not going to apply to work at your business. And both those are good, because you want people that are aligned with the culture within your business. So what we do here, our process is new team members hired, they start onboarding. And in onboarding, part of our onboarding process is introducing and training them on a SMART goal process. Now, the SMART goal process is something very specific, because this ensures that the goals that our team members are setting are well thought out and intentional. So SMART is specific, it's going to be measurable, it's attainable, it's relevant, and it's timely. And now the reason that's important is because now this is getting to be smart about the goals, because if they're not, they're going to kind of be all over the place. There's going to be a lot of gray areas. It's going to be very difficult to create a plan for it. And it's also going to be very difficult to find out whether it really means something to them or why it means something to them. And also, did I accomplish it? Like, it was such a gray area. I didn't have a time limit on it. I wasn't very specific about it. So getting that SMART method is really important. We also introduced to them the concept of personal, professional, financial goals. So we got SMART goal process, also personal, professional, financial goals. All right, now personal goals, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and same thing with professional, financial. Personal goals, that could be hobbies, that could be where they want to take a vacation, it could be relationships, it could be health, it could be family. These are really important. And if you genuinely care about somebody, you're interested in them winning, and you do not express the interest, or you do not genuinely care about the personal accomplishments in their life, I would suggest you're very transactional, and you're never going to really truly connect with that person. And you're also never going to really know if they're really winning, because money isn't everything for everybody. It's not just about money. I mean, money is very important, but there's also personal things that they want to accomplish. Professional goals. Professional goals can include promotions. It could include recognition. It could include learning new skills, earning additional responsibilities. Understanding what those professional goals are obviously super important, because that's where they're going to accomplish it, is in the profession, then your business. And then financial goals. Financial goals could be earning more income, or they could be investments they want to make, increasing their net worth. It also can be, type of investments, college funds. It could be paying off debt. understanding what really drives them and why they want to earn more money, because the real important lesson here is understanding the why, because you always want to lean into that why. Why am I doing the work? Am I doing the work just because I have to do the work and I'm doing what I need to do to get by? Am I doing it because if I don't do it, I'm going to get fired? That's not a way to live, and that's not a way to motivate people or inspire people. You want to be able to point them to that destination where they want to move through. And why do they want to grow? Why do they want to go through the struggles and fight every single day if they don't have a goal in mind that they want to accomplish that truly means something to them? So that's what we'll do is we'll go through that in the onboarding. So we're really establishing this early. So this is how we're really fortifying this in our culture. Then after they get done with onboarding, they're going to get into the 30-day onboarding. They'll get into their role. And now about 2 months later, 90 days into the role, they've onboarded for 30 days, and now they've been working in a role for 60 days. Now they can see a better picture of themselves in your business. And now's the time to have the conversation about what their goals are. So what we do there is we reconnect with them again, reacquaint them with that goal process. And we say, hey, look, we're really excited about it. We're going to give you this SMART goal worksheet. And what we're going to do is in a week from now, we're going to go out to lunch. And I'm super excited about going out to lunch with you and learning about your goals. And I'm giving you this worksheet because this will really help you and make it easier for you so you could put it in this format. And, and the reason that we're doing this is because I'm leading you. And in order for me to successfully lead you, I need to understand what winning looks like for you. And if I don't know what your goals are, how could I ever determine if I'm being successful leading you and if you're winning or not? And this is going to be the way we're going to do it. And we have personal, professional, financial goals. And I will emphasize that I would like you to share. I know that you have a lot of goals. So you're assuming that you hired a goal-oriented person. That means they have a lot of goals, because you shouldn't be hiring people that are not goal-oriented into your organization. So I'm assuming they have a lot of goals. Hey, Joe, I know you have a lot of goals, so I want you to share only the 1 year, 3 year, 5 year goals of the ones that you feel comfortable sharing, because I would never want you to share something you're uncomfortable with. Now, a lot of people are very transparent, they're open book, and they're gonna really, be open about it. And some people are not, whether that's just their choice and they live more of a private life, or maybe they just don't have the confidence to share. And it's something that needs to be developed. There's no right or wrong here. It's as long as they're goal-oriented, they're going to have plenty of goals and enough of them to share, but they only need to share 6 goals. And the idea is 1 year is a short-term goal, 3 years a midterm. It's going to take a little bit more work, a little bit more planning. It's going to be more challenging. The 5 year, that's your stretch goal. And that's going to be more challenging. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot more planning. And you want people reaching not only in the short term, but also in the long term. Now, when I schedule that lunch, it's going to be an hour and a half. I used to do an hour, but I like an hour and a half because I'm eating lunch with them too. So I get a chance to really connect with them. It's a great investment for my time to understand and learn more about them. And when they're giving me their goals and they're sharing their goals, I'm just there with a piece of paper and a pen. And only thing I'm writing down is what the goals ultimately are. And I'm not taking the goals at face value. If somebody tells me they want to earn more money, okay, that's earn more money. I'm going to peel the onion. And really, when you're having a conversation with someone, if you're really truly curious and interested, which is another prerequisite here to have this conversation and to be a leader, you're going to ask, why, tell me more about that. Can you be a little bit more specific? What does that look like for you? Why is that so important to you? Because that's so interesting to me. And you're going to learn, the great thing is you're going to learn so much about this person in just an hour and a half. You're going to learn so much about them. And it's going to be so exciting because you're going to see you're going to learn about their whys. Like, why are they coming to work? Why are they here? Where do they want to go? What's the change they want to make in their life? Because when you're leading people and you work alongside them and you guide them and you see the change in their life and they accomplish the things that they intentionally set out to accomplish, that's really going to not only change their lives, but their family and their friends' lives. and then also increase their confidence, set a great example for other people where now they're like, wow, look at Joe. Like, he's accomplishing all these goals. Sarah is like amazing. She's a totally different person. It shows what's possible. But if you're not intentionally doing it and you're not setting up the discipline to do it, and you're not thinking about it and talking about it and perpetuating it, and then people are winning, it just doesn't happen as fast. So this really just creates velocity for the success in your team members' lives. So during that conversation, I'm going to make sure I wrote down every one of those goals. And then I'll return back to the office, and within a day or two, I'm going to email them the list of the 6 goals, the 3 personal, 3 professional, 3 financial goals. Hey, this is what I heard you say. I just want to make sure I heard correctly. Can you let me know? And if there's any corrections, we'll make an update. I just want to make sure I heard you right, because communication is what you hear, and I could hear incorrectly. Hopefully, I was actively listening and I really interpreted it right. Okay, they're good. All right, great. Let's sign off on these goals. And the next step is now we got to start planning. So now we've got to take that SMART method and start putting out a plan, because we need steps to accomplish these goals. Now I'll set up the next meeting and we'll start the planning process. And this is where we're going to have all the steps start to be created. And here, I'm not going to do the work for them. I want to empower them, because that defeats the whole purpose. When you're leading people, you don't want to teach people what to think. You don't want to do things for them. In the short run, it seems so easy, and so many of us are so guilty about it because we're always such in a rush, and we're always, we're always impatient. We've got a lot to do, but in the long run, you're not going to be as efficient, because you're basically stunting the growth of the team member that you're leading. So we'll empower them, but they're going to need some help. And when they get stuck, this is where you're going to help them overcome the obstacles. And also, you want to make sure that the planning is well thought out. And hey, did you consider this? And especially professional goals. If someone wants a promotion, now you should have the transparency in your organization where they see most of the things that need to be accomplished in order to get there. But if they also should be asking, hey, this is the steps I believe I need to accomplish those goals. Am I missing anything? And there could be likely an opportunity there where, hey, I'm glad you asked. That's smart, because there is a step here. In addition to all this, what I'm looking for is that somebody that comes in here and does X, Y, Z as well, and that's going to be a requirement for the next promotion as well. Or, hey, you know what? There's also a couple courses that you'll need to take in order to earn that next promotion. So let's put this in there in the plan as well. Now, that could go back and forth in a couple conversations. And look, this is not good or bad. It's just data points about where your team members are, because some team members are going to come in and are going to crush that process of setting the goals and planning, where they just go through it really fast. And it seems like almost effortless to them, because they've kind of already been doing this, or so they've had some experience. And there's going to be team members that no one has ever asked them to sit down and write their goals down, or ask them, what do you want to accomplish in life and how do you plan on accomplishing that? No one's just ever asked them. They've been just working hard, doing what they think they need to do. And it's kind of just been, life is happening to them, and they've been kind of just following the path that someone says they should do, but they're not really thinking about it. And also, if they're younger, maybe they're just doing what their parents told them that they need to accomplish. So if you have younger team members, it's a new learning process. The point I'm making here is, don't judge them here. This is not you should never be judging your people. You just got to be hey, this is where they're at. And now I've got to grow and develop them. I know where they are. This is my baseline. And how do I get them a little bit better every single day? And you work through that process with them. Now, we've got the goals set for a team member, and now the work starts, right? So now that we've got the plan set, the real work starts. Now we've got to start fighting for these goals. And look, you need to tell your team members and explain to them, accomplishing goals is a battle. Some of them may come easier than others. And, if their confidence was low, some of them might set some low targets that, they really underestimated their abilities. But when they start setting real goals and they start learning to stretch themselves a little bit, they are going to test their resilience. So this is what we do here. and what I was taught to do. So we're going to get an update on their one-on-ones. We do one-on-ones bi-weekly with our team members, and part of that one-on-one is an update on the goals. Now, look, I'm not going to get like all these super updates every one-on-one, but it's a little pulse check each time were there any updates. And then if I start seeing a pattern where, like there's a pattern of like maybe 2 or 3 one-on-ones, we're really not talking about the goals or this, you don't really hear much changing. That's where you can say, hey, let's open up the plan and let's look at it. And now you can get into it and you can push them a little bit. Look, these are their goals. They're doing it for them. And so you need to like push your team a little bit. It's okay to push them to accomplish their goals. Hey, you told me this was important. Come on, let's get going here. What's in the way here? Like, what's the big picture look like for them? Like, I see what you're capable of doing. You can crush this goal. Like, what are the obstacles we got to get out of the way here? So in a one-on-ones, we're going to be doing this. And they're going to be like, there are going to be times where they're going to like, they just hit an obstacle and now they're going to want to quit. And this is where you got to like inspire them, and they got to be resilient and break through that, because every single thing that we want to accomplish in our lives that's really incredible is going to have this difficult time where you need to break through and you need to really push hard and you need to 10x it more than you thought, because now you're like, hey, I looked at that plan and I underestimated the amount of activity I need to do. This is very common. Oh, well, we got to put more activity into it. We don't just accept not accomplishing the goal. Like, failure is not an option. So now we're going to have team members that are going to accomplish goals. And when a team member accomplishes goal, hey, this is amazing. I'm so proud of you. I'm excited for you. That's amazing what happened here. Like, we're going to tomorrow morning on our all team meeting, I like to celebrate that goal. We're going to share the goal. You're comfortable with sharing it? And they're either going to say yes or no. And if they don't want to, then we don't have to share it. Some team members will share a lot, and some team members will be very vague and maybe not share any specifics. But the great thing is that, hey, when you share it, you're going to excite everybody else. You're going to inspire everybody else. You're going to show everyone else what's possible. You set a great example by sharing it. So being transparent, the more transparent you can be, the better example you're going to be for everybody else. So we share that in the all team meeting. We celebrate it. Team member rings the bell in the company, and we make sure that that's something that's celebrated. Is only emotion in business is supposed to be celebration. That's our process. We go through that with every new team member. But, there was a time where we didn't have that process in our organization. And a lot of business owners ask me, hey, how do I get started here? Because they have an existing business and they didn't start this from day one in their business. So now they want to implement this and they're not certain where to start. So I'm going to just walk through some of that, because this is a common question here. Now, first step is educating your leadership team with the whole entire process. So what I did was I took my leadership team, we all learned that process, and then I did the goals, personal, professional, financial goals with each of my leaders. Now, we went through this process, and this was probably like 3 to 5 months. We were really diligent about it, very methodical about it. We made sure we're very intentional about learning this, because there are a lot of there's a lot of pitfalls here. You can really mess this up if you don't do this right, because this is sensitive for some people and you're changing the culture. You're evolving the culture. So you want to make sure that you are not practicing on your employees. You have the leadership team, like you as the business owner has got to master this and study it and make sure you get coached on it. You can get coached in our Cardone Ventures ecosystem. I do coaching on this. And if you ever needed any help with this, you can email Steve at stevelags.com and put in the subject line goals and what you need help in. And I can show you either the program that we have or the coaching opportunities that we have as well to help you walk through this process and implement this. But you go through this with your leadership team, okay? Now you get through it 3, 6 months, however long it takes you. You can go as slow as you want, as fast as you want. But when you feel confident that you got this down, now is time to basically implement it into the organization. And when you implement it into the organization, you're going to want to do it. Number one is casting the vision. In the way I cast a vision with my leaders first, and I've repeated that with my team, is, hey, listen here, this is the deal. We're growing this company to $300 million. We're gonna blow it up in our industry. But what part of the vision, though, is making sure that when we do that, we're going to build a high-performing team, and all of our team members along the way are going to be accomplishing their personal, professional, financial goals. And also, what we've learned in leadership is that in order to properly and effectively and successfully lead anyone, you need to understand what their goals are. What does winning look like for them? And if we never took the time to sit down with you and invested in that process and that conversation of what are your goals, how could we ever effectively lead you and help you win in life? And, when you think about it that way, it is actually impossible. That would be like your most important job you'll ever have if you're a parent as a leader and a parent is being a parent to your children. That's the most important leadership job parents have. And if you don't understand what they want to accomplish and what winning looks like for them, you don't take the time to ask, how could you ever lead them? How can you develop them? If you don't ask them, like, what sport do you want to play? What's the goal, your personal goals? What sports do you want to play? If you don't ask them, how could you get them in the right sports? You'd put them in a sport they don't have no interest in, or getting them coached on softball when they didn't want to play softball, they wanted to play basketball. So it's the same thing. Now, so we paint that vision, right? That's the why. And hey, here are the steps. Our leaders are going to go in the organization. They're going to be sitting down with you, introducing and training you on this whole entire process we created so that we can make sure that we are successfully setting and accomplishing goals. And then we're going to learn about your goals. And then all the leaders in the organization are going to work alongside you, be invested in your goals, show you how your relationship with our team, you can accomplish more of those goals. And we're going to help you accomplish those goals. And when you accomplish those goals, we're going to celebrate them. And this business doesn't win if our team members don't win. So this business does not win if our team members do not win. All right, that's how we work on team members' goals, and we make sure our team members accomplish their goals. And again, this is a general overview. There's always a lot of detailed questions about it, but we do have great programs at Cardone Ventures that can definitely help you, and also other coaching opportunities. And if you need any help with implementing this or learning more about it and you're a business owner or a leader, you can email me at steve@stevelags.com. Put in the subject line goals and what your specific inquiry is, and we'll get back to you and get you on the right program. Thanks for joining us. See you on the next Steve Lags Unfiltered.
That's all for today's Steve Lags Unfiltered journey. Keep soaring, leading, and conquering with us. Remember, it's not just about listening. It's about learning and taking action. If today ignited your drive, join us next time for more unfiltered wisdom. Subscribe, rate, and leave a review to fuel your success journey. Also, be sure to listen to us on your favorite podcast channel or outlet. Stay tuned, stay unfiltered, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Boom.